Hunting by Stars is a Marrow Thieves novel. In fact, it takes place immediately after the events of the first book. So this is me saying in the video that in order for me to talk about this one, I'm going to have to probably talk about the events in the first one. Be prepared for some light spoilage in this video. As a YA dystopian series, this is based off the idea that there is an illness affecting everyone around the world. And while it's not immediately fatal, the fact that people are no longer able to dream is driving them crazy. Crazy enough that they are starting to hunt down those who do have the ability to dream, the Indigenous community, so that way they can mine their very dream essence, which they think is in their bodies, and the marrow itself. The bulk of the first book is going to take place on the road itself, a very common setting when it comes to this genre, as we see a group come together trying to survive as they are being hunted down. In the second book, the drama is still there. There's still going to be those scenes where they are on the road fighting for their very existence. But now that French has been captured, we are now looking at how the residential schools are being used to traumatize the Indigenous community all over again. Much like the first book, we're going to see this jump back and forth between the different characters' perspective, with each chapter telling us which character that we're following at that point. For the most part, it is still going to be focused on French and Rose. French because we know that he's captured, and Rose because she is now forced to choose between going after him or staying with the community. In this book, we're also going to see some chapters from different people within the group that we may not have heard their backstory in the past. We are now getting that information, and we're also looking at some new characters. This is a hard story, so there's going to be emotional moments, tragedies, traumatic situations that are definitely going on. But what I like about this author is that they understand that this is for a YA audience. Sometimes just alluding to the fact that these things are going to happen is enough. Yes, this book made me think of The Road, but a less traumatic version of that story. Now, for the most part, the book is set still in Canada, but there is a whole nother country right underneath it. And if you're wondering how the United States is handling what's going on, it's not that much better. But I am intrigued by seeing the different settings and the different dangers that those settings present. Just like the first book, by the time we get to the end, it nicely wraps up what was going on with the story up to that point. You can definitely tell that this is intended to be a series in which maybe even a third book comes out. Basically, while I may be caught up as a reader, I have a feeling that we are not caught up on the story completely. I'm hoping that the author is working on that third, maybe fourth or fifth novel.